Good morning, everyone. It's Tremia, and today is Wednesday, so Dwayne and I are heading to the hospital to get my port placed. Not looking forward to it, but believing it's just going to be uneventful and go smoothly, and I'll wake up and have a port. Waiting to register. The anxiety is really getting to me. I don't know how I made it here again. Get me out of here. Well, getting the port placed. I'm glad it's done and over with. Today is actually Thursday. I was out of it pretty much all day yesterday until it was time to go to bed, of course. I'll start talking straight or thinking straight here in a second. But when we went in, when the anesthesiologist talked to us, the plan was general anesthesia. And we told him about my problems with pulmonary failure. And, that we prefer, that I wanted to do it like how they did it when they took out the infected port. And, they just used 3 different kind of drugs and really got me to sleep, well. And I had no pain. Don't remember a thing, it went all well. But taking out the port is only like a 30-minute process, and putting in the port is an hour and a half. And so there was one, difference. And plus, he said that, like if something goes wrong, because, they're messing around and they're putting stuff, that it goes down into your heart. They need to make sure that there's an airway available. And, there's more pros to doing general anesthetic than the con of pulmonary failure. And, but he said he would do it. He said he hated to say it like this, but do it as lightly as possible. But he didn't want me to worry and be afraid that, something was going to happen. And also, he said he wouldn't use any paralytics on me to paralyze me. That way, when I woke up, I would be breathing on my own. And because I can remember, after all my surgeries, it's like, Miss Appling, breathe. Miss Appling, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And I had that a little bit yesterday, but I was more aware and more awake, and so it wasn't a struggle to do it. But I did have, I don't want to say complications, because I was there for quite a few hours. But it all worked out fine. My O2 sats was going down into the 70s and staying down there. And so, they put oxygen on me for a while. Then they lowered it and lowered it. It kind of weaned me off of it. When I left, my sats were still going down like to 88 or 89, which, makes a little alarm go off. But, not anything drastic like 72. My heart rate kept on falling down into the 30s, but they said that's normal with anesthesia, but I didn't like that. Didn't like it with, them just stuffing something into your heart, with my heart going down like that, but they weren't worried about it. I was, but they weren't. So I'm all bandaged and patched up. They did it on the right side, but they did it a little higher, and they took in consideration where my bra and the seatbelt are going to hit me. And I think it's going to be really good. And I said, I Facebooked, and my port really is purple. See? I'm serious, it's purple. Because when he came out carrying it, I thought, I was just like, is it really purple? And it's really purple. But, and plus, just hit it. Oh. In the below package, I get an ID card, and that gray thing is a bracelet, like the Lupus bracelets. And then there's a keychain identification. I guess, you know, it's so they know you have a port. But also what's neat about this one, I don't know if you can see, but there's 3 little white marks around the circle in the center. And those are little raised silicone bumps. And that way the nurse, when they're getting ready to access my port, they know exactly where to access because of those bumps. Even if my port tilts, because my last one did tilt, or anything like that, they still know where to access it because of those 3 bumps. My last port, you know, it tilted, and it really wasn't that much of a problem, but it would have been nice if it had not done that. So the port's in place. I got to wear this bandaging I called back up the hospital because it said just to not get it wet, but it didn't tell me how long to wear it or to change it. It was like yellow. And they said for a good, 2 to 3 days so that my scar will heal, my incision will heal. And they didn't use stitches or staples or anything. They glued it shut, so I'm glued. And, that glue will just fall off. And I go for IViG next Tuesday, and they said it'll be all ready. It's going to be tender. I've been there, I've done that, and I know it's going to be tender. So, the thing that hurts worse is my neck really hurts. Well, don't get me wrong, this hurts. But the tubing that goes down into your heart, it goes up into your neck, it goes up into that artery. And you can see I've got a bruise starting there. And that is what hurts worse. So I'm really trying not to hold my neck stiff. So I won't get a stiff neck. Because when I went septic and they had to access me over here and put in those central lines, I held my neck stiff for 2-3 weeks while I was in the hospital. And it took like 2 or 3 months for my neck to unstiffen. And so, I know there's nothing for me to hold my neck stiff other than, being afraid. And there's no reason for me to be doing that. So I keep on trying to loosen it up. And I've been putting an ice pack on it because it's swollen, and hopefully it'll keep the bruise down some. So, port back in place. Pretty new purple one. And I'm tired. I'm having to do breathing treatments and use the inhaler and Mucinex and stuff. Got to make sure that pneumonia doesn't set in, and don't want that. And which I am having difficulty breathing, so I got to keep on breathing deep. Breathe in deep through my mouth and out through the nose, and make sure I walk and just keep my lungs moving so they don't get infected. So I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I can't even talk. Help.